Well, welcome everyone. It's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Before we get started, I just want to give you a few energy updates from last night and this morning. Last night, some interesting messages were coming in. The English patient came up last night, as well as rebirth, but as the masculine toggling up, and maybe a southeasterly wind maybe coming in. I don't know if a storm's coming in, but toggling up, or the key is that the southeast or the southeastern winds of a show of power from Jesus as guidance, as his guidance as rebirth, showing them this is the rebirth. It can actually read as well the power of Jesus and guidance, a Sophia rebirth, so that would incorporate the Christos Sophia both. But southeast, and definitely the key being the southeast here. Also, some interesting diseases were coming up. TSE, which is transmissible spongiform encephalopathy. There's a bovine BSE as well. And cannibalism with scrapey-like lesions in the brain. Also, the Toronto Stock Exchange came up. TSE Industries and Total Sports Experience, as well as TSE Cashmere and the tsetse flies. That might be coming up for a reason. And then it was interesting, one of the headers that came up last night was the Libra February 2020. So for those of you who that might relate to, that came up specifically from General and Sentimental Guidance was the title on January 27th, 2020, which was a January reading in French, but she was speaking English. I actually listened a bit, and you should check her out. She's good. And then CJD, Creutzfeldt Jacob disease came up, as well as tissues, guidances from the FDA. So a lot of disease state type stuff was coming up last night. So today is, and today's codes were great because they were so cool the way they came together. It's a perfect example to show you how. So I did a big drawing so you could actually see how I got to that information, so you could understand the process. It's pretty simple, so I think you'll like it. So I did a union read first this morning. I just been into it lately, so I did this morning. And this just so you have a picture of the read from this morning, okay? That is the union read. It is February 28th today, 2020. Tomorrow's the leap day. It only comes once every 4 years, so it's a pretty special day. And today, the 28 is the Two of Wands, the Twin Flames, and the day adds up to 34/7, which is the Eight of Wands. That very fast-paced communication or travel, going back and forth, the energetic exchange, the expression of feelings, the arrows of love. And for me, ziplining always comes up with the Eight of Wands as well. So the Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands, so a lot of wand energy, a lot of movement, perhaps choices, since we have the Two of Wands, but a lot of back and forth discussion about it maybe going on, or just energetic back and forth. So the union read this morning I did at 6:12. I did go to bed last night, but I didn't sleep at all. I might have dozed a little bit, but I really didn't sleep. So for the union read, the underlying energy was the Two of Flames, same as today. That came up as the underlying energy, the Twin Flames. In the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, it literally is two flames, and that's the main deck for this read, for those of you who've never watched before. The central energy from the union read was the King of Pentacles, or the Akashic Records in this deck. So the twins choosing their path, perhaps of which Akashic Records they want to clear today, and the underlying Divine Feminine was hanging out, searching. And it was funny because when I couldn't sleep last night, I was looking for dolphin tours because I wanted to go somewhere with my kids, and we wanted to go swim with the dolphins, so we might go to like Miami or something. So I was looking up that stuff, but it was so funny because the way the Divine Feminine cards came up, it was perfect. It was literally hanging out, searching dolphins, because dolphin was in the Six of Swords card, I believe it was. Searching dolphin tours, thinking about crystals. That was coming up as like leading into the union read. And in the 3D, my union read is across 3D, 4D, 5D, and then the vertical lines are the feminine on the left, the masculine on the right, and the bridge between them in the middle. The other cards are leading into the read as the feminine, because the feminine's in, and the masculine goes out on the right. And then the last card in the right corner is the summary card. So in the 3D, we had Indigo, Strength, and Luna, and the Divine Feminine is the Magician, or the Indigo, with the crystal, Divine Masculine, in Deep Emotions of the Luna, which is a big tidal wave of emotion, really, deep, dark emotions coming up, and bridged by Strength, or Courage, of the Bengal white tiger coming out of the flames, like the feminine really transmuting the flames to escape from the drama. And then the 4D was the higher self with the King of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, so the Divine Feminine in her higher self, and then the Divine Masculine surrendering, bridged together by the King of Pentacles doing Akashic record clearings, and from different perspectives. So their clearings may be totally different, but both of them clearing at the same time in order to come together. And I actually did a new guided meditation last night, which I really liked, actually. And in the 5D was the Two of Cups for the feminine, Destiny was the bridge, and Six of Cups came up for the masculine. So the Divine Feminine with the Two Cups connected, and the Divine Masculine with the Six of Cups also connected. They are very much the same energies. And then just one's the inner child and one's the adults. And then connected or bridged by Destiny, because the Wheel of Fortune was in the middle, that high vibration. The Divine Feminine being the Indigo, or that childish, that impish energy of the young magician in the feminine's higher self in the 4D, and then the Two of Cups, soulmates, in the 5D, connecting with your twin. The bridge being the 3D Strength and the 4D Akashic clearings. And then in the 5D, the Wheel of Fortune, the Destiny, or the high vibration that we get to when we're in the 5D. Excuse me, the Divine Masculine with the Moon and the wave of deep emotion and a breakthrough, and the 4D surrender to the 5D twins, inner children. So as the masculine energy goes out from the read with the Page of Wands, the Reason, which is the Emperor, and Karma, which is like Judgment. The Inspired Flame by Reason, or the Emperor, dropping the false hand and opening up his crown. The summary card was the Three of Swords, which in this deck is lightning and thunder, and a lot of fires being created. The masculine following the lighthouse in the dark, that the storm is now leaving, was the message I was getting. So we started the twin flames and we end in the separation, which yesterday and today was coming up as his karmic separation, not the separation between him and his twin. And then I was getting a clearing connect from my twin right at that time. I get different kinds of connects, but I was getting one then. So the Divine Masculine's Moon and the Divine Feminine's higher self was interesting, because the Moon is also in the higher self card. So it's like she's coming in to transmute the tidal wave that's in his cards to make the water calm, and then clearing Akashics with the King of Pentacles for him to surrender to the Two of Cups, which is destined, and the Six of Cups, love. So hanging 6 of Seeker of Reason, or Rays. So the students of the Rays. Hanging 6, the lovers, of the students of the Rays. So I thought that was pretty cool coming through. And then stingrays were coming through too. So, I was looking at dolphins, and then the stingrays came up. So there may be someone called to go hang out with some stingrays. So the Divine Feminine offers crystal for the Divine Masculine to get out of jail free card. And again, the crystal skull came up, so that card was matching the crystal skull as well. And also could be hanging out with kids as well, since a lot of the kids cards came up there. And it was like the Emperor and karmic separation, but there was definitely more light on the Divine Feminine side, keeping lightning over the water in order to keep the fires doused on the masculine side, which was kind of cool also. So getting into the read for today, the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 646, which is the Lovers and the Six of Cups. And we have the Lovers in the center of the read today, as well as the Ace of Cups in the recent past. It was a really beautiful read. Actually, the Two of Cups and the Lovers both came up upright in the read. So I think you're going to like this read today. The initial cut was 646, And I pulled from my character deck to do. I told you I separated out some court cards and just some of the specific cards that identify people. And so I'll shuffle sometimes just to get clarifications on who the different people are. And I did that for this read. So I'll share with you who I got for each person. So it was finished at 7:07. So that was cool. 7:07 to 7:08. And 7 and 8 are the Chariot and the Strength card. Oh, that's interesting. As I'm looking at my page, when you write a colon, it's like an 8. So I'm getting 7:07, then 08, and then 8 for the colon. So there was 2 7s and 2 8s. And then the major arcana were the Lovers upright, and then Transition, which is the Death card, that was also upright today. And before the read, the Hanging Man came up, as well as Reflections, which is the Hermit. There were 4 cups, which is a lot for the masculine, 1 wand, 2 pentacles, and 2 swords. So a lot of emotion-based stuff for the masculine today. Only 1 wand, so not a lot of action desires, but 2 pentacles and 2 swords, which is, you know, a fine equilibrium. So not too much action, although there is work here and dealing with practical things and money, but also a lot in his head. Not a lot, but more than action anyway. And then a lot of heart-based stuff. So the Queen of Swords is the court card that comes up, as well as the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups, as well as the Page of Cups. So we had 3 knights come up again. This came up, I told you that the other day. So today is the 28th, so we go to the 29th, to the 1st, and to the 2nd. So that could even end up on the 3rd, though. So to the 2nd to the 3rd may be significant for some of you with the 3 knights. And that could just reference the 3s as well, so 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. And then we also had the Page of Wands come up before the read, and the King of Swords and the King of Swords and the Knight of Wands also came up after the read. The numbers and the code line, there were no numerology cards on the code line. So there were none of those cards today. But the number was just number 6, as well as 66 being significant. 1, which is the Magician. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, by the way. 1 is the Magician, 3 is the Empress. Those were both significant, and that was it. There wasn't a lot of numbers that came up today. We had 41, 22, which is the Ace of Cups, and the Fool, which is great energy. The 1 and the 3, I told you. The 13 came up of the Transition or Death card. 36 of the 10 of Wands, which was reversed. The Wounded Warrior and the 10 of Wands were both reversed in the read today. And then 69, which is the Ace of Pentacles, which was also reversed, but that's okay because the Ace was the main card present. I'm trying to remember. Might not have been. The only Ace that was upright in the mini deck was the Ace of Cups, which I don't mind that at all. But if the aces are present in the main deck, that's very significant either direction, because that means it's up there for a reason, because the new start's going to happen. All right, so, and that was the 69. Okay. So the message here, we had no card from the numerology deck. So it was kind of like a freestyle today, but it was about the number 6, which is the Lovers, also family, love, and community. And the code line was very interesting. So I'm going to show you the code line today, because I'm going to show you how I processed it, because what came up around it was very cool. So I'm not going to show it to you quite yet. Let me just get it started so you know what I'm talking about, and then we'll go there. And by the way, possibly 6 new moons came up in the code line today. So 6 new moons would end up July 20th, 2020. So that's July 2020. So that date may be significant for someone, and that's right before the Olympics starts as well. All right, so before I get into the code line, all about the Lovers, since it was the 6 new moons and the 6, some of the headers that were coming up for me were, the first header that came up online was Adi Da Samraj, okay? And that's the beginnings of spiritual conductivity on YouTube, 82207, so you might want to listen to him. He's pretty cool. The Spiritual Quest 3, What is Meditation? The School of Bhakti.com. And there was that listed some of the experiments with water crystals, you know, how you love it or you play music for it to see how the different crystals grow. And then 219 best high vibe crystal images in 2020 healing, and that was from Pinterest, came up. Did I write there? And then ADI, it came up again, ADI, 2012 August Crystal Journey from Crystal Fanatics. That was July 29th, 2013. Then Crystal H came up from YouTube, Blueprint Ensemble, Artistry in Portland, and Ensemble Arts in Portland. And then the Spirit Crystals, the Spirit Chrysalis.com came up, as well as H&D Crystal Manufacturer Company Limited. And so ADI was really significant because it came up in the code line twice next to each other, ADI, ADI. So I'm like, what the heck is ADI? So the first thing that came up was this person, who's a very spiritual person, right? Adida Samraj. But it came up in other ways too. So I'm going to tell you about that because that's how this whole code line unfolded today. So we have the H, which for me is 2 4s, like 2 chairs stacked together. It's 2 4s. But H is also the number 8, which is reference to the 44. So I get the 44 as the 3D form of the 8 dance of the 5D. And then also can be this considered strength in seeing the lovers, or the Sophia 9, the collective consciousness of the divine feminine, the lovers at this slivery moon, which is now because it's between the new moon and the mid-moon cycle, or the 6 new moons that I told you about already that would end up on July 20th, 2020, but being a source of crystals. So I wanted to look up ADI to see if there was any ADIs that may be, you know, a crystal mine, which actually I forgot to do that. But when I put in ADI, it was so cool what came up. So there's a lot of different things. Atlantodental, interval, autosomal dominant, ichthyosis. I'm trying to see how it's supposed to come out. Okay. But that came up, and I noticed that the atlantodental, because the definition of sigma came up as tooth yesterday. So that might be significant for someone as far as dental diseases. And then we have ADI coming up as the heading was 9/18, which I noticed right away because that's my birthday, was a trading date coming up here from 21 hours ago. Something was released. And then acceptable daily intake came up, as well as ADI Israel. ADI Israel. So that may be significant, something going on over there right now. Also the Analog Devices Inc. came up, as well as AIDS Defining Illness, Alzheimer's Disease International. So a lot of diseases were coming up today. And then ADI also means simple, usual, regular, normal, ordinary, younger sibling or sibling, king, maybe, perhaps, mean a lot of different things in different languages. Inferior, vulgar, to add, ask, request, need, or demand. So a lot of them are similar definitions. So that's all the definitions I'd got at that point. And I don't think I was satisfied with the definitions that I got and how it would work in the code line. So I got, in looking up ADI, for some reason, I looked up something else that had come up. Oh, I wanted to look up monad, but that didn't come up first. I put in something to get more of a definition. And, I put in ADI crystals to see if there were any mines that came up that were associated with ADI. And what I did get, the first thing up there, was that, and this was not in the definitions or the acronyms for ADI. It's literally in Sanskrit means first. So I don't know why it's not in the definitions, but it wasn't. So I never would have seen this definition if I hadn't put in ADI crystals. Because I put in ADI already and it didn't come up. So from the metaphysical plane, and Hindu Buddhist stuff was coming up here. In Sanskrit, ADI equals first. First part of reality, so literally the first. And also came up Adi-Ananta, A-N-A-N-T-E, at least as unity of infinity, as Plotinus and others say, Brahm or Adi Buddha, the unity of infinity emanating the first finite one. So Theosophy also says it has to do with the divine monad. So that's when the monad came up, e.g. logos or I say. So all sorts of different religion definitions were coming up on this webpage here from Wikipedia. And then the divine was coming up as, I noticed St. Francis of Assisi came up here, said to have received instruction directly from God. And logos being the uttered word, or I say. And it stood out to me because I actually was able to experience a backroom mass with a monk in St. Francis of Assisi before it was destroyed and rebuilt. And then the monad came up, meaning singularity, alone, supreme being, the absolute. So monad literally means the Godhead. And I was getting connection at that time as well, because that was important. High source of pleroma, the region of light, constituting the fullness of the Godhead. Emanations of the one, which then coming out from the one get less and less, right, as we go out or degrade. And the number considered of those emanations was 30 or 365 according to Basilides. And they're called the aeons or eons, right? So the extensions out from source. So they listed Jesus as first, of course, the Father and Jesus. Then, of course, Sophia was the low man on the totem pole whose fall results in the creation of the material world. But this was, you know, from the point of that religion. And then they said Yahweh often constituted as the demiurge, not the monad. Okay. So pictures came up on that website because they were describing the different religions and how the monads and dyads and triads all related to the different religions. And one was the triangle of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and then God in the middle of the triangle and the triad. And then the dyad came up, which was the two-ness or the otherness, which has to do with the twins, the dyad. And then they considered monad the God, whereas dyad is the matter, right? Because it's the polarity, the duality. So then the triad also came up, which is the 10-pointed triangle, which is very big in Pythagoreanism. 1 being the unity, 2 is the dyad, 3 is the harmony or triad, 4 is the cosmos or tetral, and then it's 10 because they consider 10 a higher order in Pythagoreanism. And the third part, so 1 was the explanation of the 4 levels, 2 was the higher order of the 10, 3 is the 4 elements, right, the fire, water, earth, etc., and then 4 is the representative organization of space, or the 0D as the top of the triangle, the 1D, 2D, and 3D of the 4 levels of the triangle of the 10 dots. And then because the triangles were coming up with the 10 dots for them, and then the triad, I'm like, well, what about the monad and the 6 that we always see, right? The 6 representing the 6 sets of twins. Or not twins, but it's the soul group of the twin being the peak of the triangle. So then I was guided to Ascension Glossary because that came up as one of the headers. And also in that page that I was just on, one of the religions, it was, I'm trying to remember which one it was, one of the parts, they were listing like the sequence of, you know, how their definitions expand. And this last one said the 4th way. So that stuck out to me because we're always dealing in 4s, right? So I wrote down the fourth way at the top of the page. So I'm in Ascension Glossary and I'm guided to the monad. But first, I'm not actually on the monad page. I was getting the spirit body comes through permanent seed atom in the higher heart complex to guide or blueprint and prepare for incarnation. Again, this is from Ascension Glossary, okay? So you can go in there. There's so much Ascension information there. It's a great reference. So the spirit body comes in through permanent seed atom in the higher heart complex to guide the blueprint for the ascending person and prepare them for incarnation. Any unresolved trauma from the soul can block spirit from evolving to the high heart. The monad spiritual body triad is the 7th, 8th, 9th layer, but starts connecting at the 8th chakra level, or the thymus gland, which is the higher heart. And it changes from the astral heart of the 4th chakra, like the 3D, what we're used to the blue aqua heart, which is the twins, or it turns blue as it changes into the crystalline energy, or turquoisey, like more green and blue. Turquoise of the mother arc ignites the inner Holy Spirit, the Amorea flame. And so the 8th dimension is the gold color, but when the monad starts flowering in the diamond heart, it actually looks blue. Living crystal lotus heart, or crystal rose heart. She calls that galactivation, she calls it. That's her term. So soul and monad is the family of consciousness extensions that exist simultaneously. So you have 12 personalities. As we integrate soul consciousness, we integrate these 12 aspects in consciousness body. And this then unifies the triad of the entire soul matrix. So we experience emotions and forces of love in entirely new ways. All right, so complete integration leads to higher integration of our monadic matrix, or our oversoul matrix, of 12 oversouls. So this is like the triangle of 12 oversouls, each containing 12 souls. So you have the 12 oversouls, so it's actually 6, but they're masculine and feminine. It's masculine and feminine, so there's 12, and then each one contains 12. And so the 12 by 12 becomes the 144, the monadic of oversoul extensions. And then we're still in Ascension Glossary. So when our heart is healed, a fire is ignited in the heart and also in the kidneys, and it forms a triangle between the heart and the kidneys for clearing. The divine feminine ignition, or divine feminine, the twin flames ignition that shifts the heart configuration at that time, then becomes the twin flames, which equals the structure of light in the heart, and the monad, the greater flame, and the physical body is the lesser flame. The fire coming into the kidneys is about blood cleansing. The monadic spark connects to the permanent seed atom that we talked to in the beginning of this, the Christ consciousness silicate matrix, and instructions for our crystal body, spelled with a K. The thymus gland is the 8th chakra. The damage of the diamond heart into a Nubian black heart damages the atom and manifests as monadic reversal or metatronic reversal. So it's saying until your heart transforms, that high heart activation, controllers, like Illuminati and that kind of stuff, can still block your connection to it. Like she was explaining that their job is to crush this atom from happening so that we don't activate. So the twins, basically, the ones who incarnated to do this work, have no negative ego as the stewards of the changing of the guard and moving up to the pineal gland after the 8th chakra. So that's on the 12 chakra system, not the 7. And then, of course, the pineal gland would then be the 9th chakra. So she lists the layers 1, 2, and 3 as the 7 and 8 and 9D. The crown actualizes in the 7D, and then the 8D layer 2 is the thymus monad of the 144 galactic awareness. The 90, layer 3, is the Ascension atomic doorway. The medulla oblongata activates, begins the toroid aura from the ovoid aura. All right, so that's the oblongata is at the brainstem. And then another data point she brought up here was Stargate awareness and planetary service at the grid, quote unquote grid level begins. And then after that, the holographic architecture becomes a consciousness reality. So this was very cool because I went into this just looking for the monad that I'm used to of drawing the 6 circles of the twins and the triangle. And this is how it came together with my code line to give you a message. So I was just explaining to you the 70, 80, and 90 that I just explained to you. This is just summarizing that, the layers 1, 2, 3, and how here's the heart activation, the kidneys that form the triangle over here, and then this is the monad, right? So it's your Godhead basically, but formed into the 12 separate parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then each one has 12 different identities basically, right? Your 12 different timelines basically. So this is the monad, but it looks like 6, but it's actually 12, and each one has 12 oversouls. So there's 12 oversouls and 12 souls within, which equals the 144, the monad. Okay, so my code line is here, the HC6, and that's like a symbol for a new moon or a sliver moon, and then TI of crystals, and then the ADI, HRE. So as I told you already, for me, the 8 is the folding chairs or the stacked chairs, which is 44. And it's also 8, or the dance. And then C can be C, or the ocean C, or the letter C. And then the 6 can be the lovers, the Sophia 9, which is the collective consciousness, or it can be 6th here, 6th moon. And then crystals, and this for me is to the nth degree, TH. And then the ADI, HRE. So what is that supposed to mean? So I looked up, I was looking at my definitions that I gotten for ADI and ADI, and the Sanskrit one was the perfect fit, right? Because it means first. And there's 2 here, the twins. Each are first, but there's 2 of them, which was very cool how that came together. And then HRE comes up as Holy Roman Empire, but I wrote Holy Rare Elohim, which was I got, but it also can be a higher. Also, you notice HRE is the H and RE. H is, again, the 44 over here, the stacking chairs, and RE is Re, which is an Indian, which represents a shaman. Okay, so you have the 44 and shaman here. Okay, so we have doing the dance and seeing the lovers, the 6th moon, the Sophia 9, and the sliver to the nth degree of the crystals. The crystals of the 2 twins, the firsts, for hire, or in doing the dance of the shaman, the Holy Rare Elohim. And remember, this Sanskrit means first and first. But the ADI also is a dyad. And I noticed dyad right away. So I'm like, oh, well, bringing the dyad for the twins works too perfectly. A dyad 1, because we're talking about first. So it came up for something different. So now we have dyad brought up, which came up in the previous page, had nothing to do with this. And then I have I noticed that in the 144 that H was coming up as 44 over here, and then I realized, oh my gosh, we're getting the first over here, which is the 1. So we're bridging the ADI with the H, 144. So I took the ADI and added the H, thinking, okay, I'll look up that word, see what that means. And what does it mean? More, better, a lot more, which is expansion, but it's also in Navajo, which is another shaman energy, just like over here, but totally separate. And then it was coming up as the 4th letter, 3 plus 1, the Adi plus the H, and I'd just written down the 4th way on the prior page that I told you about, which references to a lot of the divine coding is in 4 letters, even though Yahweh is spelled with vowels as well. This is like the really spiritual way of writing Yahweh, is the YHWH, the 4 letters. So it was really cool how that all came together. The 144 as the H and the ADI, the Sanskrit for first. To see the lovers doing the dance between your masculine and feminine, seeing the lovers, but also the deep C, the emotions of the lover, and also C can be of Christ, but also you should be taking vitamin C when that comes up. The 6th moon, which is July 20th, 2020, I actually met my twin 7-2, so for me that really fit. And then 6 to the nth degree, or just now, which is the slivery moon, because we're between the new moon and the mid moon, of crystals. And I was just at the crystal store yesterday that I told you about, or the day before. But it has to do with our crystalline bodies that we were just discussing as well from Ascension Glossary. And the 2 first that the twins are, and the HRE, again, of the 44 and the Re, of the shaman, the holy rare Elohim, and the dyad of the 2. The dyad that is the first. And then the Adi and H, the more, better, a lot more. Navajo, again, we had Indian shaman again. And the 4th way, so the 4th letter, like Yahweh. So, and the 144. So there's a lot of symbolism that came back together. Really cool, dealing with our bodies and being shamans and being the first, right? Being the twins and doing this mission work. And understanding your place as the lovers and the deep emotions that need to get cleared here. Okay, so I hope that was understandable. And I hope it was helpful to you too. Let me just do a little clearer for you guys. All right. So as we get into this read today, I started processing here. Like I said, we finished at 7:07 to 8. So the Chariot and the Strength, with the Lovers and the Transition, which were both upright. And then we start out with the 6 of Cups, but the 6 of Cups was reversed here. The cards underneath that were the Hangman, the Page of Wands, and then the reflection card, which is the Hermit, which was also reversed. The Twins' inner kids reversed, perhaps a little off today, or processing difficult memories, or dealing with difficult kids, or the past or their twin returns. After hanging out to get inspired and come out of isolation, they're coming out about connection and juggling to stay sane, and the Knight of Cups offers love, at present defenseless to the energies. So I'm going to tell you how I identified the different cards before I get into the read, so you know what they are ahead of time. So the Queen of Swords is here in the foundation. Okay, she's called the Sage of Orbs in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And she came up with the King and Queen of Cups receiving the messenger of truth coming at them. Actually, let me show you. I think I still have them in order in the deck, so I can show you. I guess visuals, easier to remember. All right. Wasn't those. All right, so this is how they came up. So that's the Queen of Swords. So this is most likely the Queen of Swords, but she's this truth that the Queen of Swords is coming in with is coming into these 2 people, the King and Queen of Cups. And they could be someone's parents, because the King of Cups often comes up as somebody's father. All right, so that's the Queen of Swords. And then we have, as the challenge guy, is the Knight of Pentacles, but he's reversed. So he's being stubborn. And that's definitely can be coming up as the masculine. And I'll show you what was coming up for that one. So this is coming up for the Knight of Pentacles. So these are all representations of the masculine. He comes in as the Dark Knight, he comes in as the King of Swords, and you see as he goes through the transformation into his truth, he comes out the other side of the portal as the Knight of Cups. And this can also reference the masculine with kids around him, right? His warriors, you know, staying in line, right? Maybe they got in trouble or something. All right, so that's the challenge. Then we have the masculine here was the 6 of Pentacles reversed, But it's also coming up, the King of Pentacles with the Sealed Divine Feminine, twins. And this can represent kids too, that the masculine is now admiring the feminine and his kids, and knows that there's a balance that needs to be restored. Okay, which was really nice energy. And then there was one, did I do one more? I don't remember if I did that one or not. Oh, yeah. And then for this, the Seeker of Chalices around the masculine, or how he is seen, came up the High Priestess with the Queen of Swords speaking. So she's over here as well, the Queen of Swords. So that's coming up again as the feminine energy, speaking their truth to the connection. Okay. Okay. So coming out about connection and juggling to stay sane, the King of or the Knight of Cups offers love at the present, defenseless to the current energies. The Knight of Cups triumphs over feeling crazy, present to the deep bond, and defenseless to performance or creating new patterns. The Empress reversed, it can also be Taurus here, with Justice or Divorce or Libra implementing a plan, with the Emperor's Secret, High Priestess, or psychic abilities, and done overworking or done aligning with desires or stopping whatever's not working. And by the way, the Empress reversed also can just be a person in lack, right? So they're stopping whatever's not working prior to starting a new life. Olive head, Viking priestess, or salt and pepper, black and white, polarized, with trinity or triad block, and thus a fourth quarter added, but held back. Okay, so again, the olive, this is just describing who this person may be. It was coming up as olive head. There's literally an olive on the person's head, but olive head, Viking priestess, salt and pepper, or black and white, polarized, with trinity, so it could be a religious person as well, or triad block, and thus a fourth quarter was added, but then held back. Spying on each other to see where he's putting the money. You notice the fourth came up again here. Somebody could be spying on the masculine to see where he's putting some money, or carving out 3 to fall on the floor and saving the fourth, bigger one for later, the writing on the wall. A hook stuck in this is coming up in that feminine's third eye. A hook stuck in their third eye. Olive oil is trigger happy. For every one they get, I get 10 times that. So that's like that feminine energy saying, it's like a wife saying, what's mine is mine and what yours is mine. That's kind of that energy there. And then bowling for dollars came up. Omega, the Omega portal. And then Omega comes up as the big O. That's one of the definitions of Omega. And also oxygen. It means oxygen. And then the number is 18, which is the moon again, comes up. And 800 is also associated with Omega. And for some reason, I was guided to take the half of the 18 and 800 because it's 188, which is 94, which are significant numbers 9 and 4. 94 plus 94 is the 188. And if you reverse the 94, it's the 49, get your wish card. So 94 reflection would be then for you to give a wish. And then it also equals the 13 of the after death transformation. And the triangle, which equals Delta, which is number 4, again, the number 4. But Delta also means gate. And here we have the death card, or the portal card in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, is literally someone walking through the portal. So the gate, and then, so the triangle of Delta is the gate, and it also means the major 7th chord, which then took me back, because we're dealing with a triangle here, to the triangulum minor that I brought up yesterday, below the triangulum, the main triangle. There's another one more minor, but beneath it, I think it's called minus, but that's okay for this purpose. We have the gate of the Delta being the major 7th chord, and then the triangulum minor, which reflects the Bermuda Triangle reflection, which I brought up yesterday in a conversation line that I found online. So the worst is over, time for bliss. The lovers' blockheads are removed. It's like the block around the head was removed. So the worst over in time for bliss, the lovers' blockheads are removed as the Queen of Pentacles reversed is removed from the equation. Gabriel is pleased by their orchestration of this, making a mountain into a molehill between the divine masculine and feminine, and then the uvula and the vulva were coming up again, the keys of the mouth and the vagina. So settling out debts or inequities, not sharing, whereas the divine masculine and divine feminine both had a hand in it, but clean hands. See, Ma, hands all clean. It wasn't us. It was just funny how that came up. The Three of Cups is upright in a reunion, obsessing over chair or hair and curls. And the cat came by again at 9:38, which is the Queen of Cups, just as I write the Queen of Cups. So the cat's meowing around my house again. So the Queen of Cups is upright here, released from energy prison, putting it out there or all on the line with Bunny and Dove watching him lose his shit. Feeling left butt and right butt and between. The divine feminine being loving, yet still including the truth in the mix. Butts all over the place or just all over. Butt, hips, knees, ankles, toes, neck, back, shoulder, elbows, wrists, fingers, red boots, red dress, flashing skin, and the divine masculine trying to cover it up. Kids learn from their parents. So it's like him trying to cover up a woman so that, the kids won't copy the way their mother dresses, that kind of thing. So following your dreams, number 85, and beneath that was completion, which is number 9, which has to do with endings and compassion. The following your dreams of the 85 reflects the 58, which is the meditation or resting in 5D. So then the reflecting would be grounding that into the 3D. You're bringing your dreams into reality. The Page of Swords reversed, maybe talking too much or the silent treatment, negative talk, rumors, immature words, messages, conversations, and perhaps spying. And that was 9:48, which is the Hermit, who could be spying, and the 48 of walking away and within. The 9:49, the Get Your Wish card, injustice with a secret out, or Libra reversed, not using their intuition, or not sharing, or in debt, having been scammed perhaps, or inequity and uncomfortable energies in order to process around. The Wounded Warrior surrenders as the Three of Cups group celebrates. The Viking ship set sail that day, leaving behind the weed or grass, and Chinese, or Chinese for glass ceiling, presently exporting or going away party. Cuppeth overflowing, no more snake in the grass, one ladybug by the mushrooms, keeping the chopsticks though, birds turning white again, or group is going out on a party boat. That ship has sailed. Present to the Six of Cups reversed, perhaps difficult memories or difficult kids or the past returns, holding back the gold coin, a new life, from the Queen of Pentacles reversed, flashing her derriere and following her dreams. So that 85 reflection of the 58 and the 5D came up here. Grounding your dreams into reality, and this could be someone around the masculine, one of the karmics. The recent energy here is the Ace of Cups upright, self-love and new love, in the end of a family or emotional cycle of unhappiness or lack of fulfillment, holding on loosely, saving and grounding, and allowing an offer of love to come in. Confession of the sealed divine feminine, or whole world approves and is surrendering. The foundation is the Queen of Swords upright, speaking and inspired by the Empress reversed, being strong, or the masculine inspired by the Empress reversed. Even though she's reversed, that can be an ill parent or someone who's just down on their luck, whatever it is, they're in lack, but being strong or taming their inner beast. At home with Hierophant, Taurus, or marriage, religion, or establishment, and dealing with that person, whoever that is. The Page of Wands offering energy to the Empress reversed at home. That could be a child helping out, could be a parent who needs help at home, a grandparent, that kind of thing. But with Taurus and Leo reversed, or two bulls and a lion. The central energy is the Lovers upright, pleased with an opportunity to grow and learn after a downturn, a slowdown, the retrograde, or a twist of fate. The King of Swords goes on a journey as the divine feminine confesses and he surrenders. The Page of Wands, little shaman, is inspired at work, and the Lovers, challenged by the Knight of Pentacles reversed, being stubborn or lazy, disabled, or unable to function, refusing to move or work, or a bluff, could be a strike for some. Refusing to gamble, though, must be sure of the one, seeking proof, and poof, they're all gone. Kids, the sunshine, full exposure, or on vacation, the King of Pentacles is upright and the King of Wands reversed. Now these could be two aspects of the Divine Masculine, or they could be two separate people. But they're coming up as the King of Pentacles upright, the King of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Swords upright, speaking on their behalf. In the aftermath of the war, with PTSD and looting going on, the battle is over, but frustration remains. No growth or inability to conceive or conceptualize or control their third energy. Devil waves or Capricorn chained to workplace or place of co-creation. Kids want to learn. The Page of Pentacles is upright and the Page of Wands is inspired. And the Capricorn raises their hand, the devil, me too. So they're all inspired to learn. The Six of Pentacles reversed, removing a block by letting it go, the payout, the inequity, the not sharing, the stardom, the light, healing abilities. So it's like letting go of the injustices. And then the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth, as the Knight of Cups offers love to angel or patient, and the Page of Cups upright with a message of love. Kids clearing the deck for the King of Pentacles upright, King of Wands reversed. Again, this could be the same person or two separate people. King of Pentacles upright and King of Wands reversed. It could be kids helping them clear the deck, or perhaps get a house straightened up, or just prepare something to help the masculine, to be with the Queen of Swords with a message of love, performing without working, or hanging out together in a split and cutting through the BS at 1019, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. Cutting through the BS while holding back announcements of connection to horny devil or the Capricorn who's chained. And then we're at 1021, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the World, the completion, the end of the cycle. And I was getting a connect again. That's done. Now, for the masculine is the Three of Wands upright, being present, the gift of the flame. The patient, dark knight making his way into a new life, with the Queen of Pentacles upright finding a way out of the chains, or the fishbowl, or the magician's tank, or skedaddling out of there on a ship, or for her dreams, healing, or an Aquarius, not working, with the messenger of truth coming in. The King of Wands reversed without affection for the inequity or scam of Aquarius, threatening to cut his jewels off, or the King of Wands reversed and the King of Cups reversed with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Chariot reversed, all four. There's another four for you. Emotionally detached and refusing to budge, blocking anything from coming in or going out without their permission. Or the King of Wands and the King of Cups were blocking the Divine Feminine's messages to the masculine, or the Devil and or Capricorn, messenger of truth, with a block of a message of love, or the Page of Cups child is not allowed in to disturb the men talking. A new love, the Knight of Cups in deliberations, or non-judgment, or a poor decision and holding back an announcement and a call, not acting. Instead, Aquarius stole Divine Feminine's words and used them for herself on him, or for other purposes. He who was tired of the same old thing, or the same old offers, caught with their pants down or confessing after the fact about messing with a patient, or patient with an offer of love. Grounding and integrating, ignoring an offer of love, as Sagittarius or patient angel is surrounded by the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups, who could definitely be kids. Confessing energy exchange, expressing feelings, messages of love and arrows of love, healing and forgiving, a message of love from dream lover, performing, whistleblowing, getting over grief, loss, and regret, an inability to function and trying to get karmic out of his bed, a lie, wanting to call, to connect, but he thinks she's the devil. Soon the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, or knight in shining armor, is rushing in with the truth, holding back money and a new life, perhaps to play ball, or to play with his gold coin, to magnetize, the twin to return. After the war, thinking he could control divine timing, as opposed to doing the work and showing up for love, as opposed to money. The Emperor and the Queen of Wands reversed, coming clean or getting clean at the workplace or place of co-creation, church, school, whatever it is. The Queen of Pentacles reversed and Taurus reversed, or Hierophant reversed, in a divorce or breaking contract, in surrender of exposure or getting their energy back, getting some sun or on vacation or sent away on vacation, right? And perhaps in a split. The masculine sees himself as a Six of Pentacles reversed, so you may have just had to pay for this, is not sharing or is in debt, scammed, or inequity of relationship or distribution of monies. Justice didn't prevail, or Libra fell and Aries or Scorpio did, embarrassed self-resisting change and stuck in thoughts without peace or a peaceful place to escape to. Healing family issues, religious factors, which can be anything not religion, it can be culture, age, whatever it is. Keep an open mind, new love, and release your ex all came up for the masculine. At 10:47, the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Cups, the synchronicities, the heaven in their eyes, having choices, perhaps confusion if it gets too much for you, if you allow it to overwhelm you. Around him or how he is seen is the Page of Cups, child, or a message of love. Can be puppy love as well, or emotional immaturity. At 10:48, which is then the Eight of Cups, walking away within, or just leaving the situation, the High Priestess, who may be religious, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, and Magician, with the tools to manifest her reality for her. No options but to release prisoner who played the magician or fell short of his expectations, holding back their true desires. The Viking priestess without a choice but to release from the Ten of Pentacles family or business employ, and the magician manifesting, player be gone, tired of all their stuff always falling back on him. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the Knight of Cups love, two in exile, destitute, injured, or ill in a split, lies, laid off, or fired, or quit. Undesirables, or cutting out the crap from their lives at the workplace, or two left on leave early for medical reasons. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, Taurus reversed, and the Devil and or Capricorn meeting for deliberations at the gate, deciding where to go from here. Integrating final rejection, death, end, or transition through the portal, hanging out and going away at a going away party or happy hour post-war, strategizing how to get stubborn bull out of his bed and split to end deliberations so he doesn't have to meet anymore. The King of Swords with a plan in uncomfortable in energies, though, of getting over loss, regret, guilt, and shame of the Queen of Cups suffering in silence, or up nights crying, no sleep, or headaches and pain. The King of Swords is in his truth, and the Knight of Wands is reversed, holding back passions or withholding, and now happy with self, and 6 rays beaming upon him from the other side. Found the one, letting others go, sovereign, sharing energy exchange and feelings at night in bed, in meditation of the 5D, or while they're sleeping and keeping it to themselves to stay pure and balanced, keeping antenna or connections all clear. The 6 of Cups reversed, hanging out, inspired to come out and return from the past to the Queen of Swords, who he owes a little love and a big love, actually lover, and challenged by stubbornness and resistance to her truth being said, and an offer of love, a present to gift of the transition into bliss. The truth of the King of Swords getting past player ways to be happy with himself. The 6 of Cups reversed in return for new love at present, as the Queen of Swords speaks about the lovers and challenged by the stubborn bull at present. The gift of the moment, he's no longer stubborn, needing to rebalance the inequity and share. The Knight of Swords transitioning with a message of love, and then a bigger one, and then full transition through the portal to the truth of falling short, but now getting his wish. And that ended right at 11:11. So that was perfect. Perfect divine timing. I hope you like that one. That was a good one. All right. So I do have time, I think, to pull you an oracle card. It's just a minute before the hour. So let's see what I'm going to give you. I just got this deck at the crystal store I just told you about that I was at in Ocean City. And it's a stone deck. I don't know where I have the box. I'll have to list that. Anyways, it's a crystal stone deck. And I probably don't even know how to pronounce half the names of these stones. I was surprised when I looked through the cards, because I know a lot of stones, but a lot of them were kind of alien to me. So let's see what stone comes up for you guys. Everybody take a deep breath. And so for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. And filling that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that came right out. Opal, that came up yesterday too, so it must be important. We all know opal, so that was easy. Let yourself sparkle and shine. You're guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. Topaz and emerald are somewhat coming up. It's not specifying a color of topaz, but emerald's been coming up too. So opal, I would definitely recommend opal and emerald. Topaz says forgiveness heals. It's time to release repressed anger as it's blocking your health and happiness. And then for emerald, ceremonies and celebrations. It's a time of important life passings such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, or anniversaries. Oh, and I look at the colors. They're so perfect together. The 3 cards that came out. Really perfect. The underlying energy is angelite, spiritual or religious community. Join with like-minded people for friendship and increased spiritual growth. And growth was definitely coming up today. Okay. Oh, I love those colors. I just want to show them to you again because the colors are so pretty together. Okay. Opal, topaz, and emerald. The blue, pink, and green. And that definitely came up because we're talking about the heart turning from green to blue today, and the high heart of the pink. And I always get aqua. They're talking about aqua, so more of an aqua-ish color. But also the pink of compassion. All right, let's see what else I should give you. Let's see here. Let's start with the animal deck today. This is the animal deck. The animal tarot. Take another deep breath. The flame's kind of fun to watch today. Some of it could just be the breeze from the cards, and also when there's a lot of fluid inside of that, so when the flame starts hitting the fluid, it starts to make noise and jump around a little bit. So, all right, this is the animal tarot. Whoop, the whole deck came out. Hold on. Oh, but this did come out. Balance is 14, the zebra. By emerging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea. Compromise with others and collaborate to discover a better solution. All right, so that's 14 of patience and balance and coming together as an angel. And remember, the zebra never changes its stripes, right? And then 2 of autumn, the cat. This is like my cat outside. Like, he keeps meowing like I don't know what you want. I put milk outside again for him in case he wanted it. The Abyssinian cat. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's like the maskman walking around complaining, like trying to get someone to help him. It's important to balance your work and personal life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. Okay, his eyes are kind of crazy. All right, the bottom of the deck is another purple, so we have purple and green here again for the masculine. The world is 21, which is complete. We got the collie there. The Shetland sheepdog for the masculine. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons life offered you with grace and courage. That's like a graduation day. That's nice. All right, so don't get stressed out. And merge varying points of view. So that has to do with the polarized views. You know, bring other views into it. You may actually get a better result. But make sure you don't get stressed about anything. Don't take on too much. All right. And we have my Nature's Whispers deck. All right, let's see what we have for you from Nature's Whispers. I don't know why I have so much energy right now. I didn't sleep last night, plus, you know, yesterday. I swear I get great messages. After I cry, it's such a reset because I always get really clear messages after I cry. All right, so be your best self always. Number 24 is the Queen of Wands. It's really yellow, like Mary Magdalene yellow. Be your best self always, 24. And that's the Omega. We were just talking about Omega means tooth. Right? Is that what I said? No, that was the oxygen. What was the tooth? Oh, the tooth was the sigma. The bottom of the deck is heighten your vitality, number 49, which is the get your wish card, 9 of cups. And it's that pink of compassion here. Heighten your vitality. That's the underlying energy. Along with this, they're very different energies. This is the underlying. Let me just look at them for a second. Oh, this is a really like a summary card, right? So she's very grounded and not really showing her colors. But this was also confirming that we've crossed the 4D bridge around the world so that all the rainbow colors are now coming out. Even if you feel like you're lagging behind, no fear, because the 4D bridge has circled around the world, around the globe. So it's just saying, you know, always be prepared. You never know. Be your best self always, 24, which is the Queen of Wands, also Omega, like I said, the end of karma. So it's saying be prepared. Karma's done. We have the seahorse, and she's riding the seahorse just under the surface of the sea. So she's not riding deep. She's just getting some surface stuff done. And she's actually looking up to see if she can see the motion above the water. So she's ready for whenever something comes in. All right? And there's a lot of schools of fish, so some people might be in school as well, learning. Coral, somebody might be in an ocean reef. I was just talking about that because I was out in Key Largo when it was 5 miles out in the ocean reef, the coral reef, and I would hate to see what it looks like now because it was so beautiful back then. But she looks like she's in a reef. And maybe I'll have to go back out there again if I go down to Florida. By the way, that was the... my father took me and my sister to his meeting with him when I was 14. That was the first time I ever flew. I noticed it's 14, which 14 just came up for you guys. And it was the Ocean Reef Club, Coral Reef. It was Key Largo. And it was such a shame because after we were there, it burned down. I just said that about St. Francis of Assisi. I tend to burn things down, don't I? That's crazy. At that place, the Ocean Reef Club, we almost got run over by a plane. I just remember riding our bikes one day, and all of a sudden there's a plane wing over us. So, of course, it was very memorable. Plus the bathing suits when you're 14. They don't have cool bathing suits up here like they do in Florida. So those are the kind of things you remember when you're a little girl. Right? So she's coming up like that, too. The memories of when you were a little girl. And going back to those colors again. All right. Now we have my Metatron deck, so we'll ask Metatron. Metatron, what would you like to bring us? What is the message? Metatron, what would you like to say? Oh, that came up. Untying the knots, and that's very much the grid, you know, like the crystal grid. Untying the knots. It's like unraveling, right? So we're still doing some more unraveling. 28 is the twins, the Two of Wands. This card also wants to come up is as above, so below, heaven and earth, and that perfect, compassionate reflection. The weeping willow, right? So if you're weeping, they're weeping. And to have compassion for each other. There's the circle of trust. I love that. And this looks like a reflection in the water. For sure. And also there's a mushroom effect, which came up in the read today, the mushrooms. So there may be a significance about mushrooms. It could be ayahuasca as well, because that was coming up. And this card wants to come out as well. Silver, and I just said that sliver. So when I say the silvery moon, like the slivery moon, I was getting that because we have the sword as well. The slivery moon, the warrior of light. And we have the moon, which is 30, which is the four of wands, which is the union energy. 41 is the ace of cups. It's the new love, the union, and the twins. All right? Can I do any better for you? All right, and this color matches this card so perfectly too. That was pretty beautiful. I'll show you what's done here. Creation and expansion in your life. I think it's supposed to go this way. So the flower of life, expansion in your life, creation. 3 is the Empress, right? So just Mother Earth, Gaia, and to allow the expansion. And this is so different from, these are very purple and pink, right? So the third eye and the compassion, the high heart, and then creation of expansion of your life, right? So use all your colors. Expand out a little bit. Thank you, Metatron. All right, now the energy deck. This is for the energy deck. Sorry. All right, let's ask Michael. I don't want to leave Michael out. I don't call on Michael very often because a lot of other people do. So, all right, Michael, let's show him what you got. Can you compete with Metatron's cards? I don't know. Okay, Michael, here we go. And Michael's the one I met at the crystal store the day before yesterday. All right, that came right out. 22, yin yang, perfect balance, and opposing forces all at the same time. 22 is the Fool. And it's all about the twos. And it's very blue and gold, which is the green again at the heart. The gold and blue that came up around what I discussed for you guys. This is also coming up the 21. So we have the world. This is going from the completion point to the Fool, to the completion of the cycle, and then opening your heart to take that leap of faith. Here's the strategy in ending the cycle. Make sure to make your journal entry and your wing entry on gossamer wings. What do I want to get from this? So parchment paper's on here too. You might want to make something special. Do I have a third card? Nope, he's giving me 4 because Metatron gave you 3. He's giving you 2 more. And I'll give you the underlying energy too. I'm getting like Columbus coming to America, actually, and journaling his adventure. So that's what they're calling you to do. Even though this is 21 coming out after 22, it came out this way for a reason. So it's telling you before the end happens, so you remember to write it down, so you have something to use later on. Right? You have music and parchment paper here, as well as the pen. There's a compass as well, and here's coins too. Okay, and strategy. So make your strategy before it happens, so you don't miss it. All right, and these two came out together. So we have 4 instead of 3, which is the 5 of attachment, and the 31, which is a 4. That's that expansion energy. So Michael's all about the expansion here. We've got the 5, and this is the 5 of wands. So, but this is also a 4. So the 4 to the 5, taking the 4 to the 5. He gave you 4 cards, because Metatron only gave you 3, and he gave you 4, and then taking you even further to the 5 of expansion, right? Because that's where we change. That's the mid-cycle, where you want to stay at the sweet spot, like 6 to 7. Airing to the side of the light. So here's the attachment of taking your mask off and showing your true self, right? You're chained to not having faith in yourself, being in fear, afraid to show who you are. Even though she's so pure, you don't have to be pure. Make a mistake, it's all good. The door to value. Like, look at the contrast between these two. This is so red and yellow and gold, you know. What do you value? It doesn't have to be this, but you can have this if you want. If that's what you value, if that's what makes your heart flutter and makes you just go, go, go without even thinking, you know, 12 hours went by in a day. What floats your boat? It can be this if you want, but it doesn't have to be either. And they look like, to me, big barn doors. Like, it's like a barn. I'm just getting hay. I don't know if it is or not. I'm not really looking very closely. But I'm getting like barn doors opening of a horse, so that might be a special message for someone. I don't really know what's on the other side there. It's hard to tell. But there's a lot of money floating around. There's big red doors, you know, which is very aggressive energy and very hot energy, right? Do you want money? Do you want sex? What is your door to value? And then we just have beautiful flowers here. Do you want to be inside, outside? You know, write down what you want. Ah, the journal. Write it all down. Right? So you're prepared. Because if you're here, how are you going to get to here in 1 second if somebody asks you what you want? Write it down so you get more clear about who you are. The yin-yang and the strategy on how to get there. To let go of the attachments, to take your mask off and open the doors to what you truly value. And there's no qualifying of it. It doesn't matter what your decision is. It's just that you know what you want. And again, we have the blue, gold, and then this is very neutral, right? Because gray, like black and white pictures. And then we have red over here. So blue, yellow, and red again. So it's bringing in the green and the purples as well. These are the primary colors, blue, yellow, and red. And then no color at all. Is that who you are? Or are you blue, yellow, or red? Or some kind of combination thereof? The underlying energy from Michael here is 46, which is the 6 of Cups, the thinking man. And who is that? He's looking at crystals. And that crystal, the one he's looking at, has 3 parts on it. Like I have this twin crystal. See? It's similar, but he's got a 3rd one on there. He's contemplating it though. He's got 2 feathers in his cap, not 3. And beneath it is because he's had his heart broken, okay, in half. And that's the end. But this is the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden, the inner children of the twins, and the thinking man, which is the King of Swords. And all that we just processed about that. Thank you, Michael. That was great. And the 4 cards. The 4 to 5. Oh, 4 to 5, fortify, because the nutrition acronym came up. To make sure you eat properly, that you eat enough. Is there anything else here? Oh yeah, just the KIPPER deck, and then I'll let you go. I got to show you the cards. It's 11810. 118 came up today. That was just the reflection. It was 18 with 01 and then 10 on the other side. All right, so from the KIPPER deck, last one, you guys. I keep getting stuff in my eyes. They're so dry right now from not sleeping last night. All right, guys, what do we need to know? Community. There's somebody who's concerned. This could be a masculine being concerned about your twin flame community that you're involved in. They seem kind of crazy, right? This is her looking at him like, really? Really? You think I'm the devil? Is that what you're thinking? That came up in the read today. And that's what Remy said, Remy and Jill, that he thought she was the devil. So those divine masculines, if you're listening out there, go ask Jill and Remy. Remy thought Jill was the devil too. It's just not true. The bottom of the deck here, look, is the lovers. Let's see, we had the family room was empty with change, and then something got closed, case closed, someone passed away, or the ending happened, right? Everything got cleared out. The changes happened, the house got cleaned up, right? Something was ended, and then we have the lovers as the underlying energy for you guys. 15 is the devil again. All right, so it's just the shadow side, nothing to fear. I'm going to show you the cards. And then Six of Cups, but it was reversed in the underlying energy today, which is fine because that can be the past returning. The recent past is the Ace of Cups upright, and the foundation, the Queen of Swords upright. The central card is the Lovers upright, challenged by the Knight of Pentacles, reversed and stubborn. The underlying energy is there with the Three of Wands, or Three of Flames, upright, scrolling across that 4D bridge to the Knight of Swords, or Adept of Orbs, who is also upright, passing the message. The masculine sees himself as a Six of Crystals reversed, right? That's the masculine, and that's masculine. The only ones that are reversed so far is the masculine. And then around him, or how he's seen, is the Seeker of Chalices, or the Page of Cups upright. The blocks he has to clear has to do with the Knight of Cups upright. And we end up there at the Death or Transition card going through the portal. Okay? And we have after that the King of Swords upright. The Knight of Wands was reversed, and then the Nine of Cups is upright. We end up on the Two of Swords, keeping those channels clear there. And look at the colors. The underlying colors are like that aqua for the heart, from the heart to the throat, the higher heart. And the third eye was underneath that. And now we have all these yellows and of the solar plexus and the sacral energy, as well as the champagne. So also connecting above your head. All right, so I hope you liked that. I hope all the information was clear. I definitely feeling better today than I was yesterday. Sorry about, I know the read was probably a little bit scattered yesterday. Either which way, it was just 1, 2, 3, 4. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye. See ya.